Well, good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino, and we're going to look at this beer right here. This beer right here is from Parallel 49 out in BC. This one was picked up at the LCBO. It's one of two new pumpkin beers that I've been able to find via the LCBO. Pumpkin beers were a big fad. They were huge. And then every brewery started making them, and a lot of them weren't all that great. Actually, there was 3 new pumpkin beers. 3 that I was able to get. So, a lot of them weren't that great. And they started to dwindle. And less breweries seem to be making pumpkin beers. However, if the LCBO isn't going to bring in new pumpkin beers, if the only new pumpkin beers they're going to bring in is like Big Rigs from the Patch, Tales from the Patch Pumpkin Porter, this one, and then Red Razor's Pumpkin Ale, maybe you should bring back Southern Tier's Warlock and Pumpkin, you know, the 2 best-selling pumpkin beers that have ever been sold in Ontario. The 2 best pumpkin beers I've ever put into my gullet. Give me them back. I would buy like 10 of them at a time. Both of them were great beers. They're shadows of their former selves, but they're still better than a lot of things out there. Sorry I'm going on a beer that isn't what I'm reviewing, but here we are with Parallel 49's Pumpkin Oktoberfest. This is their Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. I really like that label, to be honest with you. 5% alcohol? Yeah, 5% alcohol by volume. I'm just trying to find the ingredients list here. Nope. We carved out a Pumpkin Oktoberfest. Even Ichabod Crane would love. I love Ichabod Crane, to be honest with you. Ingredients? Yes, ingredients. Water, barley malt. Something in Munich and Pilsner hops. Okay. Pumpkin yeast. Okay, it doesn't say anything about spices or anything like that. Okay, so this actually might be a full-on, like, Marzen with just pumpkin added. And that could be something intriguing. I mean, my only real complaint about a lot of pumpkin beers is that they're overspiced, mostly with cloves and nutmeg. Way overspiced. So when you give me a beer that is a style I usually am intrigued by, and don't overspice it, I might be in love. I love that color. That color reminds me of pumpkin. That is that beautiful, deep amber orange color. Super see-through. I can see my hand over here, but that color is what I like. Off-white head. Nice snap, crackle, pop. Beautiful looking beer. Visually, that reddish orange is a very appealing color for me. With that off-white head, that is a very appealing beer. I really like that beer. I really like the look of that beer. An A+ for visual on that beer. Scent. Okay, see, there's no talk about spices on the label, but that smells spiced. Allspice, vanilla, cinnamon, pumpkin. I can actually smell the pumpkin, and that's rare. Usually it's just the spices you smell, but I can actually smell the pumpkin. You know that, like, just earthy, gutsy smell when you open up a pumpkin and you're digging in with your hands and you're pulling all the guts and the seeds out, and you just get those earthy, dirty notes just slamming in your nose. Yeah, they're in there. Now out of the bottle. You didn't hear that. Oh man, out of the bottle it smells like pumpkin pie. Yeah, out of the bottle, pumpkin, vanilla, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, even like wheat, even like. Okay, this out of the bottle reminds me of Pumpkin now. I know it's not a 9% alcohol beer with with everything in it, but it kind of reminds me of pumpkin pie with the crust and everything. Even kind of, there's even a little bit of almost a lactose smell. I know there's no lactose in this because it would be on the label, but it kind of has that like whipped cream on top of it smell too. Let's try the beer. Cheers, I'm really excited. Let's hope. I'm hoping. Let's hope. You know what? There's not enough of these bottles here in Ontario. This is a nice beer. This is a quality beer. This beer is good. It is a pumpkin beer that is very good. Vanilla, cinnamon, allspice, ginger, pumpkin. All in there. You get the German hops on the back and you get that earthy, grassy hoppiness mixing in there. You get a little bit of a malty sweetness up at the forefront, which mixes with all those spices to make a beautiful sweet bouquet that's then killed off by this drying, earthy, grassy finish. Very well balanced. Like most pumpkin beers, medium to medium heavy bodied, silky smooth. Moderate carbonation at best. I'm very impressed with this beer. I'm actually more impressed with this beer than I thought I ever would be. One, because it's a Parallel 49 beer. And yeah, Parallel 49 makes some really intriguing beers, but they haven't really made any that have blown me out of the water until now, to be honest. Also, it's a 5% alcohol pumpkin beer, and I usually find that to be a really delicate, really special pumpkin beer, you have to be higher in ABV. To be complex and everything, you have to be a bigger, bolder pumpkin beer. And this one is you could drink a couple bottles of it, pumpkin beer, and it's still intense and complex. It reminds me of Elysian's Night Owl, which was like Pumpkin Light. And this is basically the same thing. This is Pumpkin Light. You almost taste the everything. I mean, it's pumpkin pie filling for the most part, but you almost taste that crust. I mean, my mind might be making the crust up, but you almost get that crust taste. You almost get that that whipped cream taste, but for sure you're getting that pumpkin pie filling taste, and that really intrigues me. That really excites me. That really excites me. Cheers. Yeah. Vanilla, ginger, cinnamon, allspice. Those hops. Almost a bit of nutmeg in there too, though, just drying it out a little more than the cinnamon would. Beautiful beer. Beautiful beer. Out of 10 on this beer? Ooh, easily an 8.75. It's possibly a 9. But then I think, do I like it more than Pumpkin? Do I like it more than Night Owl? Do I like it more than Howl at the Moon? Do I like it more than Warlock? Or even as much as any of those beers? Do I like it more than Big Rig's Tales from the Patch? I don't know. Pissed Off Pete's Pumpkin Porter. Again, I don't know if I like it more than any of those. However, I can say I really do enjoy this. Is it worth a 9 out of 10? Possibly. Because I don't do a 100-point system. Because if I did a 100-point system, I'd probably give it an 89. Because I think it's that close. Even an 89.9, I really think it's close to a 90, or a 9 out of 10, or a 4.5 out of 5. But I'm going to have to give it the 8.75 because I don't do those numbers. And, I mean, I really do think this is a great beer, and if you have a chance to get it, get it. Excuse me. Excuse me. bigger bottle and from BC, so a little more expensive. And I mean, really, if we can't get Pumpkin, this might be one of the next best things to try and get. Yeah, it's not a Pumpkin. It isn't. But it really might be one of the next best things. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. I'm glad some of these showed up at an LCBO near me. I wish a whole bunch more showed up because I'd buy a shitload more. Cheers. Bye-bye.